Before I start this video, I just want to say that this video is for commentary purposes only. So please do not attack, harass, or spread any negativity towards Jaclyn Hill or any social media person on any platform. Hello everyone, this is Dalster and welcome back to another video. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about something new that has been on my mind for a while, and that is Jaclyn Hill's TikTok video that came out in December of last year. I know it was so last year, but I wanted to talk about it because as I am about to hit 1,000 subscribers, I wanted to talk about the importance or responsibility of being a content creator. Whether you are an Instagrammer, TikToker, or YouTuber, I feel like it's important to really present ourselves to our audiences as a positive influence as best as we can. Using social media, it can be fun and rewarding, but it can also be a bad thing once you gain a huge following, and instead of doing it for good use, or like you used to from the beginning, you do it for money or attention. Before I get into the main idea, I want to explain who Jaclyn Hill is. Jaclyn Hill is a makeup beauty influencer who has had some controversies in the past, such as her lipstick products containing hairs in them. She recently released a TikTok video in December of 2025 and talked about how she is not getting enough views or engagement online, and that we, the content creators or influencers, are in a weird place in trying to connect with the followers. Another point that she made was the bots were controlling these apps, which include TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. Because she does not post consistently, which means to post every day, by the way, Jaclyn feels that she is getting penalized or punished for not doing enough or creating content all the time. The last time that she had posted something, as she mentioned in the TikTok, was a week or two ago, before this video. Jaclyn also said that when she came back to social media, the views on her content were low for her. She said that when she first started utilizing social media, it was easier, but that now it feels like she is talking to herself instead of her audience. Her fans have said in the comments that her most recent content is just Jaclyn buying stuff, mostly luxury kind of stuff. Before she got all the luxury stuff, Jaclyn gained lots of money by selling and promoting a lot of stuff, such as palettes or makeup, as well as reviewing many products, and did a lot of sponsored videos. Her sponsored videos supposedly influenced a lot of people to do sponsored videos themselves. Recent comments of that TikTok video from December also said that she does not seem to be relatable anymore, and that they are tired of the shopping hauls and expensive stuff, and that she is out of touch. Towards the end of her TikTok, Jaclyn questions if small creators have any luck gaining an audience and feels confused by it. Moments after that TikTok video had been released, Jaclyn had received a lot of backlash and made a follow-up where she is trying to understand the feedback and asked for any ideas for content. The comments then said that Jaclyn should do more how-to videos or anything relatable. Some of the fans or other content creators that have made a response video about Jaclyn's TikTok have talked about her not relating to her audience. Some comments say that her content makes them feel bad or poor because they are unable to afford luxury items or anything expensive due to the difficulty of the economy and the increase of inflation, making Jaclyn sound entitled or greedy in the TikTok. It's not just Jaclyn, but other influencers as well who don't seem to understand what's been going on with society. Just to get a clear understanding of what an influencer is a person or thing that influences another. Another definition, according to Google, is that an influencer is an individual who builds credibility and a following online with platforms such as YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok by creating engaging content, thereby guiding or impacting their audience's opinions, trends, and purchasing decisions. These influencers would sometimes turn their content into a career through sponsored content and brand partnerships, which happen to pay the influencers when these influencers make content of the brand or sponsored products, most of the time being videos or podcasts. In society today, food prices are at a sky high. Some people have lost food stamps, especially in 2025. There are more homeless people on the streets. There are people who have more than one job. Some people have also lost their medical insurance or are not eligible anymore. And if you live in California, you probably know that there were fires in the beginning of 2025 and that some people have lost their houses. I can relate to these people because I too have had experiences or know people who have to work more in order to make a living. A coworker of mine actually lost her house due to the Palisades fire. Her house was not burned severely, but she had to move out and currently has 2 jobs, one of those being a full-time job. Another coworker of mine has 2 full-time jobs and had to hustle so that she could get her own apartment. In order to do that, she used a bicycle instead of Uber or Lyft and went to her second job after her first job ended around 5 p.m. Somehow she was able to do it for a while, but had to push herself to do so. A neighbor where I lived ended up moving into her daughter's place as the neighbor's rent was just too high to pay for herself. Other people I heard have also moved into other people's places because renting or owning your own home is so expensive nowadays. There used to be these neighbors that had lived next to me of about 3 or 4 people and lived in a 1-bedroom apartment but were not related to each other. Many people in their 20s or 30s still live with their parents here in California, even myself, but I do pay rent though. If I wanted to make more money, I had to look for another job, which I did. Due to my Labubu and makeup spending, I had to look for another job in order to financially support myself and my family and provide Christmas presents in 2025. Unfortunately, the second job was seasonal, but it did help a little more instead of going online and begging people for money. My other job is part-time as the office is small and there isn't any more work to increase hours. So I had to do more in order to provide not only for myself but for my mom. It was a lot of effort due to my mental health, but it was worth it to make my family happy and provide for the next payments. I don't get paid on YouTube, Instagram, or TikTok as of today, but it is a side hustle. Sometimes I do it for fun. Even with these 2 jobs, it's not as bad compared to others who had to work day in and day out every day in order to survive and have food on their plates. There are these 2 YouTubers who have a bigger following than me and get paid a little on YouTube, but it's not enough to financially support themselves, even if they didn't live in California. One content creator lives in Florida and works at Disney World, but also works at a bank as well in order to pay for her rent. She also has a husband who also works full-time. The second YouTuber lives close by the state of Florida and is a tattoo artist, but does not get paid enough. Its tattoos are not really a necessity. So that person had to work at another job in order to pay for their house and other payments that they still owed. They used to stream online, but even streaming or going live is not always enough to provide a living. Imagine working at Disney World or Disneyland and having to go to your next job afterwards. It must be very exhausting. I didn't have to work a second job, but if I wanted to pay my bills on time and give Christmas presents, I had to. And it was a lot, mentally. That's just me, as there are more people who work way harder than me, and I respect them for that. It's a tough time for many people as everything is expensive, and for them to watch influencers or content creator videos of them showing off their expensive items sometimes makes them feel bad, which I totally understand. Fortunately, there are some content creators who do videos such as using affordable makeup or other affordable items instead of using expensive stuff. It's a different world we live in today. So as content creators, we have to learn how to adjust and relate to our audience, which should not be a problem since either way, we still have to create stuff in order to continue being content creators. Or you could just do it as a hobby. The COVID-19 shutdown really did a number on job opportunities or making a living, but in order to get through it, some people had to take more than one job in order to survive and maintain a roof over their head. For some, it's not easy, especially the elderly. I saw on TikTok a couple of days ago that some elderly people had their Social Security taken away or cut during 2025. Even small vendors or people who make arts and crafts have trouble selling their work, as I saw on TikTok. In 2025, I tried to sell some Valentine's Day crafts, but no one bought any of them. Life is hard right now for many people, which is why some get irritated seeing these so-called influencers showing off their luxuries or expensive homes. I don't like the word influencer because what are these influencers really influencing? Buying stuff? Or are they QVC sellers of some sort? There are some influencers, and I'm not going to name names, who go on TikTok live almost every day and beg people for money. And it's very sad and embarrassing. Then there are those who market the heck out of their social media platform in order for their fans or their followers to buy that influencer's merchandise. An example would be influencers profiting off a celebrity's death or any other person's death. Another example would be influencers taking advantage over what's trending or using those trend videos in order to gain followers. Now, I know there are some influencers who do it in good faith or just do it for fun, but let's not forget that some influencers just do it for money and attention. However, being a content creator or influencer has its ups and downs along with responsibilities. At the end of the day, we are all human, and as humans, I think we should all try to understand and relate to another by not forgetting where we came from or how we were before the popularity. For example, Jacqueline used to work at a Mac store, and today she has more money since she worked her way to becoming an internet personality, or what everyone likes to call her, an influencer. Whether you like her or hate her, she did the work and was living like us and the working class. Maybe it would be a lot better if you take a small moment or take a few steps back or take a deep breath so that you can reflect on what you are doing so that you could still have that connection with your followers or audience and not lose sight of being relatable. In all honesty, I also need to work on my spending habits as well, since I do a lot of small videos on products, but I do it with good intent. But a majority of the products that I show off are kind of affordable, such as the Wet n Wild makeup. It's not just these content creators, influencers, but anyone that wants to be one. Sometimes having an ego can really blind you from reality, but I do think it is possible to snap out of it as long as you are aware. When I started my YouTube channel, I did it as a hobby because making videos at the time made me feel active and important. Then I had these ideas and it garnered a lot of views and likes out of nowhere. I used to use Instagram to show abandoned places or store closings, but it just wasn't enough for me. There were months or days where I would not be working, and I thought maybe if I upload videos of store closings or abandoned places, that could help start something, and it did. First, it was Funko Pops, but that did not last long as Funko Pops are kind of old now. And then I tried Marvel commentary because I love the Marvel Studios movies, but not a lot of people were watching those videos, and I think there were just so many Marvel commentary people at the time. And finally did some abandoned places like Sears, and that got people's attention. It was shocking and interesting that people liked and watched my videos, so I had thought of more ideas to keep it going. It is really fun, but it does take patience and a lot of effort to make a video with watchable content for your audience. You also have to find a niche or an urge to learn new skills in helping your channel grow. I thank my audience, followers, and subscribers for following my channel, liking my stuff, and being supportive. Without them, I would not be here on YouTube or have a voice. I know what it's like working and trying to make a living, but I'm always proud of what I have. Anyways, I hope you guys understood my point, and if you have not, I apologize for making it confusing. Thank you guys so much for everything, and we are getting so close to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. Take care of your mental health and everyone around you, and I'll do the same too. Bye guys!